Hello again, this is Rene, and I want to give you a quick update on where I am with the MVP Cloud Challenge. So as you can see here, I'm currently at 16 out of 40 modules, and I've got only 14 days left for the remaining 24 modules, so I'm lagging a bit behind. Took some days off, had some things done, etc. So time for me to focus a bit more on what's coming up ahead here with the remaining modules. Today I also want to quickly talk about what I actually did recently, which is I covered mostly the accessibility modules that are available. So there's, for example, as we can see here, we've got Introduction to Disability and Accessibility, Microsoft Accessibility Features and Tools, Creating Accessible Content with Microsoft 365, and Digital Accessibility, covering generally, what is accessibility, how does it work, but also specifically how can you leverage accessibility functionality within, for example, PowerPoint, within Outlook, within Microsoft Teams, etc. So that was mostly a refreshment of my memory. The other part that I did was then reviewing again a lot of that Power Platform introduction to modules. So introduction to Power Platform, introduction to Dataverse, to Power Apps, Power Automate, etc. So covering all those Power Platform fundamentals. Again, that was also mostly just refreshing my memory again. A lot of that was something that I did before over the years, and also as preparation for the PL900 Power Platform Fundamentals exam. But again, was good to go through it again just to make sure that I didn't forget anything over time. Another thing quickly that I want to talk about is how to actually approach going through such a module. So looking, for example, at Introduction to Power Apps, that's mostly a very generic module where you can see, for example, let me just jump in here, where it's just providing you some generic information that you basically review. Plus, it sometimes actually refers to some other places, some other locations that you can then actually also look at. So some of that is just, okay, I can see, for example, security and administration. There's more at admin Power Platform Microsoft.com. Sometimes I basically have a quick look at those other referenced sites. There's also then, for example, a full case study of Heathrow, again, just reviewing again, what are they using it for, what's the purpose of Power Apps, how are they using, etc. Just again, making use of the other information available. Same as, for example, for this video, reviewing again, okay, what can it be used for? And at the end of each module that you're going through here within Microsoft Learn, you also have then that knowledge check where you can then basically try to verify, okay, the content that you just went through, do you actually understand it mostly? Well, it doesn't actually ask you something about everything that was covered just now. It still provides you with an opportunity to review basically some of the important key points. So if I just randomly, for example, check and some items here, check your answers, it will then give me some feedback on did I answer correctly or wrongly. And I can see, for example, okay, I got 2 wrong, 1 right. So I know, for example, yes, here I chose the right thing. But for the others, there's something that I probably didn't fully understand and I should go back and review again. I could, of course, just do randomly try to click until I got the right answer. But the idea is then you get something wrong. That's where you actually then, okay, go back again and check, okay, you misunderstood something or you forgot something. That's right, the opportunity for you to make sure that, okay, what you didn't understand here, for example, is something that you should come back to again, review, and then hopefully the second time you come in and check your answers, you then get it right and it's all correct. So that's a standard module basically here, but sometimes you also have a module where there's more hands-on activities sort of expected of you. For example, here, how to build a Canvas app. Let me just quickly go in here where you can see, okay, it's talking again about some basics of Canvas apps, including all the components available. But then also there's a unit in here, build a Canvas app. And you can see 30 minutes is basically what is planned for here. And you can see there's a lot of text, there are a lot of screenshots, etc. But you can see basically it's a lot of instructions. So the idea here is you open this module and you get started with it. And you then basically really try to follow it step by step. So you get all the resources that are required. You follow then, for example, the steps to create your own app here, reference the data, add the screens, add additional components to your screens, etc. Really getting hands-on. And that's really one of those really interesting things about those Microsoft Learn modules. You're not just expected to basically read through the content here and hopefully understand it by the end, But the key thing is you really need to get your hands-on activities done. You really need to get into the tool itself, into the application itself, here Power Apps, and actually use it properly. The more you use something, the more likely you are actually able to remember something. And I know that, for example, whenever I prepare for an exam, things that I've done myself are more likely to remember than things that I just basically read. So when I prepare for an exam, I try to start using Power Apps, for example. I try to use Power BI. I jump into Azure. I check, Microsoft 365 Compliance Center, those kind of things, just to make sure as preparation for the exams, I'm not just reading and thinking, okay, I should probably understand that, remember that, okay, but also if I remember, for example, okay, here's the admin center, and then I remember I click here on the left side on something and get to this point or so, it's much easier to recall actually how to do things and do them again as part of the exam. Yeah, and that's simply said how I usually approach those kind of modules and the individual units, just making sure then I'm going through not in a rush, but taking my time, making sure that I understand the content, verify at the end of each module then through the knowledge check that I understood it right. If not, then review again. But also then if there's some hands-on activities that can be done, then I also try to follow them as much as possible. And if possible, even play around a bit more. So while I could, for example, build an app here, I might also just actually play around with it a bit more besides what is provided here within this guidance document or this guidance unit. And really then also try to play around with it and learn a few more things hopefully along the way. Okay, so that's the current update for today. Looking at what's happening next, I'm gonna get started with a lot of Dynamics 365. There's a lot of it that I looked at some point before, but where I've got really very basic knowledge. So that's going to be quite interesting. There's going to be a lot of probably hands-on activities required for me to remember what I want to learn here, etc. And next few days I'm going to give you another update on where I am. So probably going to cover 3-4 modules and then share with you where I am. Thanks for tuning in and see you again next time.